Forgot to hit record on the video thing, so I'll do the intro again. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Big Peas in a Podcast, episode 2. And the title of this episode is, I think I'm going to do all my episodes as a rap song as the thing is going to be the title of it, or a line from a rap song, not exactly the rap song title itself. So this one, we're going to call this one Friends. How many of us have them? Friends. You know, the old Houdini song. If you're old school like me, you still listen to Houdini on occasion. Houdini, UTFO, old LL, the Fat Boys. I'm an old Def Jam fanatic. I'm an old school hip hop fanatic. Period. That's just how I get down. Listen to me. So glad. Last week I had there was 91 downloads of the podcast, which is phenomenal to me. It may not seem like much, but listen, for 91 people to say I'm gonna listen to this thing, or it could have been 50 people listening to it a couple times. I don't care. Either way, 91. Let's give ourselves a round of applause for that. I mean, thank you to everyone that took the time to listen to it last week. I hope it was good. Also, there's a YouTube page up. If you go to YouTube and you search Big Peas in the Podcast, you will see the what I call the lost episode. It's actually the episode 1, the actual first episode that I recorded last week. But when I recorded it, the sound was so horrible on it when it came through the podcast. But when it came through the speaker, it was distorted. So because the video records on the iPhone, I was able to do something. I was able to record the video and upload it to YouTube with no audio problems. So, thank you to everyone that's watched that, which I don't know if many people have watched it, but it is up on YouTube if you want to watch it. All right. Listen, today's episode, like I said, we're going to go over a few things. I actually got this one set up right. As soon as I get my notes put up right here, we'll get started. All right, listen. Those of you that know me, or know how I feel about Chick-fil-A. And it's not that I hate Chick-fil-A. A lot of people say, "Oh, Carl hates Chick-fil-A." No, Carl does not hate Chick-fil-A. Peas loves Chick-fil-A. Don't get me wrong. I think the food is all right. I don't get all excited like everybody else. If you put Chick-fil-A against a Popeyes chicken sandwich, I'm gonna take the Popeyes chicken sandwich. That's just me. That's just how I get down. Let me move that there. That's just how I get down because that's how I am. The biggest thing that I'm gonna say about Chick-fil-A is it's decent. It's just I don't understand it. I could go to Chick-fil-A right now. Well, I can't right now because, of course, it's Sunday. They ain't open on Sunday. But I could go to Chick-fil-A tomorrow at lunch, order a 3-piece chicken tender, and after I eat that, I'm ready to eat again. And it's like it just doesn't fill me up. I have to spend way too much money at Chick-fil-A to get full, and I got to order a sandwich and chicken tenders and everything else. So I would rather just basically not eat it. If I'm gonna have to spend that kind of money, it's not that I hate it. But like I said, it's marginal at best. People just get all excited. Oh, it's the service, Carl. It's the service. I don't care about the service. I just care about the food. I'm not worried about the service. Just because the person say it's my pleasure to hand me my food, don't mean I'm supposed to like it. I'm sorry. Y'all can get mad at me if you want to. Peas I don't get it. I don't understand. I love the kids that work at Chick-fil-A because they're all mostly children, and they're all nice and well mannered and look neat in appearance, and it's just that's a good thing. But I still don't get it. People just get mad at me. Oh, you just a hater, Carl. You're just a hater. No, I'm not a hater. I just don't think Chick-fil-A is that good. Sue me. Listen, for those of you that's watching this, for those of you that's listening to this, this. The website is Big P's in the Podcast at buzzsprout.com. Buzzsprout is the website that is where my podcast is located. It also distributes it to other listening areas. You can follow us on Facebook at Big P's in the Podcast. Now, when I say that, you go on Facebook, you hit in the search bar and you type in Big P's in the Podcast, it'll take you straight to a Facebook page. That Facebook page is Big P's in the Podcast. That's where that is. You'll see my ugly mug, the cartoon version of my ugly mug right there, and there you have it. Also, you can listen to this podcast on Apple, Amazon, iHeart, Podvine, Stitcher, Spotify. I'm still waiting on Google to verify it, Pandora to verify it. It's taking longer than I thought it would to get those certifications up, but hey, it's coming. Or you can listen to it straight from Buzzsprout. But if you're going to take the time to listen to it, now listen, this is important. I want everybody to listen. If you're going to take the time to listen to the podcast, I need you to go on to Apple or Spotify or Amazon or wherever you listen to it at. Go on there, subscribe to the podcast. That means you've subscribed. You like the podcast, that's all well and good, but I need you to rate the podcast. And 5 stars, if you know me and you love me, 5 stars is what I need. Because what happens if I get enough 5-star ratings, the algorithm will pick me up and it'll start suggesting me to way more people. Because, I don't just want to do this for the same 14 people, 15, 20 people. I want to do this for a broad spectrum of people. Like I said last week, advertising opportunities. If you want to advertise with me, hey, hit me up, Big P's in the Podcast at gmail.com. Hit me up with your information. I'll give you a ring-a-ding-ding, and we'll talk turkey. Like I said, I can mention a business for absolutely nothing. But like I said, if I can generate you some revenue and you can help me out at the same time, we'll scratch each other's back and we'll make it in this world. Because like I said, I'm here for small business. I think small business is important. These big corporations that spend millions and millions of dollars on advertising, they can have that. I'm just here to support small businesses. If you're a small business, I don't care where you're at. If you're here in North Carolina, here in Brevard, you could be anywhere in the country. If you're a small business, and I do mean small, I'm not talking about 300 employees. I'm talking about, it's you and your brother and your cousin, and y'all out here scratching and scraping, mowing yards and stuff like that. That's small business to me. That's small business to me. If you got a small business, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to help you out. Like I said, at minimal cost. Minimal. I'm talking about like low, for the low. I'm not talking about spending a lot of money, because I don't need a lot of money, but money's good, because we got to buy things. I got to buy a mixing board. I got to buy some other stuff. But listen, we're gonna have merchandise. I've been in negotiations with a friend about printing some stuff for me, merchandise. I won't mention that friend's name right now until the merchandise comes out, and then I can plug him in there, and then we got some more. Then we got some more business to drum up. But listen, hit me up, Big P's in the Podcast at gmail.com for the advertising opportunities. All right, to the meat and potatoes of today's episode. Friends in the 2020s. Let me tell you something. Now, we talked about this last week a little bit. The pandemic changed a lot of things. And social media has changed a lot of things. Friendships are harder to maintain nowadays because, back when I was younger, my 20s and early 30s, because Facebook didn't come around. Well, my late 20s, Facebook came around right when I turned 30. So for Facebook, when social media, even with MySpace, when social media came along, the dynamic of friendship started to change, because now your friends knew stuff about you. Now that's true. They always will. Your friend knows what you ate for dinner and what color your poop was. That's what your true friends do. But social media gave a platform for us to express ourselves in another way that a lot of people didn't know about you, be it socially or politically. A lot of things were put out there for the world to look at, and it sort of made people look at people funny. And that's what that draws us back to, like I said, 2020. And if you know me and you've watched me on Facebook, I've talked about this. I call it the 2020 effect. The 2020 effect was 2020. A lot of things were with the pandemic and the political climate that year. A lot of things changed, and a lot of dynamics changed between friends. Now, I have friends that are on either side of the political coin, and that's fine. We usually don't talk politics to one another. If we do talk politics, we keep it civil. And basically, 2020 turned into more of a let's bump heads and talk and show our truth and show ourselves and show our ass on social media, and a lot of friendships dissolved. But your true friends know how you feel, and they respect that. So if you lost a friend or two in 2020, it probably weren't your friend to begin with. That's all I got to say about that. They probably weren't your friend to begin with. But with everything that went on, that's what I'm going to talk about. Maintaining your friendships nowadays takes a little bit more work. Actually, it don't. It don't take that much work at all because, you got social media. I can pick up the phone right now and text my friend, Scooter, James Bryan, one of my oldest friends. He actually is my oldest friend outside of family. Me and Scooter have known each other since about 1979, 1980. So let's put that in perspective. That's 42 years that he and I have known each other. I mean, known, not just been around. Known. He was my friend in nursery school. Him and Chuck and Chad Ormby. We've been friends this whole time. All the way up to now. We see each other. It's always hugs and love because, like I said, those are my oldest friends. Brandon Jones was also in that. The guy I talked about last week. He was also in that nursery school with us. So these are people I've known my whole life. And because I've known them my whole life, you can go a week, 2 weeks, a month and not speak or even see them, because of social media. Back in the day, we hung out all the time because, hey, we had to see each other. You had to tell your friends what was going on with you that day, what was going on with you, period. So, for us to be in this situation now, where the social media makes it so much easier to stay in touch. Like me and Scooter talk to each other every day. We really do, daily. He and I and another friend, Scott Bowers, we're all in a chat group together. And then Scooter and I have our own little personal conversations as well. That's how we stay in touch. We don't see each other that often. I think Scooter was at my house 3 weeks ago, honey. Three weeks ago. He was here. She was here. He was here 3 weeks ago. Come by to see me. And that was the first time I'd seen him since election night in 2020. So just to put that in perspective, that's a year and a half that I hadn't seen him. So, but other than a video chat, and that's what I'm saying. And I consider him still my best friend. It's more like a brother. He's more like a brother to me. And that's something else, people don't want to put the work in to be friends anymore. I got a lot of people that I associate with that think that a person should come to them at all times. I don't want to put forth no effort. You got to come to me. I'm not going to reach out to you. You got to reach out to me. And that brings me to my second point about a healthy relationship with your friends. A healthy friendship is a give and take. You've got to have some give and take. You can't always go to this person's house. You can't always go to that person's house. You got to do some give and take. It's some tit for tat. You got to have it. And that's the biggest thing. Now, if your friend comes to see you all the time and you've never been to their house, or you've never met their kids or their family, and it's stuff like that, I know people that I've got friends that, I've never met their family. I'm like, how's that your friend? I know Scooter's mom. I can drive to Scooter's mom's house right now and knock on the door and she'd let me in because that's my mama too. Scooter's sister, Bunchy, that's my little sister. That's to me, that's a friend. If you've never met this person's family, then that's just, I don't know what to call that. But I mean, some friendships are weird like that. True indeed. Yeah. There's some females in his life that I've never met, but hey, it is what it is. That's just the life we live. And that's what I mean. It's gotta be some give and take there. Mainly your friend has to be somebody you can depend on. And I know if I pick up this phone, oh, it's right there. The phone's recording the video. If I pick up that phone and I dial that number, he may not answer right away because he does what he does. He may not answer, but he's gonna call me back and won't know what's up. That's a friend. If you can pick up the phone and call somebody and they either answer the phone every time or they call you right back, that's a friend. I don't know what this thing is nowadays with people that you text somebody and you don't hear from them for 5 days. I don't get that. I mean, there's people that I message that I'll message them and I'll say, hey, how you doing? Or, just to check in, and I won't hear back from these fools for 5 days. I'm like, shit. I mean, what kind of shit is that? I'm taking time out my busy schedule, not out my busy schedule, but out of my life to check on you and say, hey, how you doing? And you don't respond for 5 days. That pretty much tells me that you don't really care about, what I have to say. And there's a lot of that goes on. And but I guess it's to each their own, because, I'm one of these people that, I value that contact with people. I really do. And when people don't talk to me, it makes me think bad things. It spikes my anxiety. I suffer from anxiety issues. There's nothing in the world like having an anxiety attack over a message. And I don't care who it's from. It could be from a friend. It could be from your spouse. There is nothing in the world like an anxiety attack over a message. And I've had a few. And, like I said, it could have been a message from my wife. It could have been a message from a friend. Or it's the fact that I messaged a friend and I didn't hear back, because I have anxieties that, that the triggers are really weird. One of my anxieties is dealing with, it has to do with, a fear. It's like a fear of rejection almost. And so when I don't hear from somebody, it's like, oh, they don't like me no more. And, you really want to say to yourself, why should I care that this person doesn't like me? But there's people that I value in my life. And, if they don't like me, then I have a problem. But, I don't have that problem very often. I've gained more friends than I've lost over the last 15 years of my life. And I haven't really lost friends. I've lost a couple because of some BS that went down in 2020. Yeah, I suffered from the 2020 effect myself. But that was on them. That wasn't on me. That was on them. There was one that was on me. And I won't apologize because it's kind of like the Chick-fil-A thing. I said what the fuck I said. It's that simple. When I say something and I stand on it, and I put my stamp on it, that I'm 10 toes down on that. And a lot of people say things and don't mean it, but sometimes you gotta say stuff and just mean what the hell you say, because some people just don't take hints. Some people don't listen, and you gotta come straight through. You gotta come straight through. And like I said, that's the main part of maintaining a healthy relationship. You got to be honest with one another. You really do. Not a healthy relationship, but a healthy relationship, period. But a healthy friendship, you still got to be honest with each other. You're going to have your secrets. You're going to have your secrets between friends. You're going to have your secrets. There's stuff that, you don't want your friends to know about. And there's stuff that, it's going to happen. But you got to somehow maintain some level of honesty, a cloak of honesty with one another. It's important. It's very important. The last thing I want to talk about real quick is, I said we was going to get into a little football. And I promised I was going to get into a little football to some people. And NFL preseason started this week. We've had a few games. The Steelers looked somewhat decent last night. That's my squad. I love my Steelers, and they looked decent last night. They didn't set the world on fire. I will say that they didn't set the world on fire, but Kenny Pickett looked decent. George Pickens is going to be a beast. Oh my God, he's going to be a beast. If you haven't had an opportunity to watch George Pickens, go watch George Pickens. Watch this kid play. He is something serious. And for those of you that didn't see the other night, Malik Willis looked like a freaking stud. And it pissed me off because, Pittsburgh passed on Malik Willis to get Kenny Pickett. I was not happy with that, but it is what it is. I mean, every team drafts somebody that you don't care about. It happens. And I didn't care for Kenny Pickett, the draft pick, but what I saw last night, he looked good too. He looked decent. But Malik Willis set the world on fire the other day. And I was like, oh my God, look at this. We look real stupid right now. But hey, the NFL's great. I know I got a lot of people's like, oh, screw the NFL, blah, 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 overpriced, overpaid babies. It's still football. I don't care about all that. College football is where it's at. Of course, we're coming into a season now with NIL money being thrown around like candy at a Christmas parade. A lot of teams gonna start making moves that you didn't see in the past. If you follow college football, you saw all the drama between Jimbo Fisher and Nick Saban, and the drama between Nick Saban and Deion Sanders. Nick Saban seems to be rubbing everybody the wrong way this offseason, but that's if you know Nick Saban and you follow Nick Saban, that's what Nick Saban does. He's always done that. He's always been a man of he don't mix words, and he's always come with the truth. But this time, I think he was speaking from a place of hurt and a place of anger, and so what he said was totally off base, and Deion corrected him, and of course Nick did what everybody does in that situation. He backpedaled. Sometimes you got to backpedal. Hey, it's part of life. You got to backpedal, but until somebody comes along and proves otherwise, that's where the road to the national championship will always roll through Tuscaloosa. Congratulations to the Georgia Bulldogs, and I hope y'all can repeat, but you still got to go through Alabama to get there. I don't care what nobody says. You got to go through Alabama to get to a national title. If you don't go through Alabama, you consider yourselves lucky. Clemson had to go through Alabama. Georgia had to go through Alabama twice to get theirs. And you're going to have to go through Alabama until Nick Saban decides to retire, or the playing field is leveled so much in college football that other recruits start going to other schools to play. Because like I said, that NIL money is going to make a difference. The road to the national title will always go through Alabama. A lot of people's like, no, it won't. Yes, it will. Just like in the NFL, if you want to win a Super Bowl, you got to find a way to shut Tom Brady down. Because, this man done won a Super Bowl with two different teams. He's got 7 freaking Super Bowls. I mean, and people say he's not the GOAT. I think a lot of people need to shut up about that. Tom Brady is Tom Brady. And he is a bad man. Now, do I like him? No. He is not my favorite player. No, he's not. But I respect Tom Brady's game, because that dude he's a gamer. He's a baller. And a lot of people, oh, he cheated. Man, I don't give a damn about that. Because just because you knew what plays the defense was going to play, you still got to deliver a ball into a passing window. Oh, he deflated the balls though, Carl. Oh, he let the air out of the ball. You still have to deliver a pass into a passing window. You like I said, this man rarely throws interceptions. I don't care if they did the play. He could have been out there throwing flat balls for all I care. He still didn't throw interceptions. I mean, your defense still has to play. You still got to stop them. And that's just it. those of you that don't know, I referee high school football. You know, that's my that's my thing. That's my second love. To hear some people tell it, that's my first love. But hey, I love to do it. I've done it for a while. And next week, I'm going to get into that a little bit about, the things that I see as an official that just really, really, really open my eyes to how people really are when it comes to youth, amateur sports. And when I say amateur, that don't include college anymore, because those are semi-pro athletes now with the money being thrown around. But I'm talking amateur athletics, which is high school, middle school, and of course that den of iniquity, youth football. The things I see and hear year in, year out, it never changes. There's some people that aren't there for the glory of their kids, and I hear it. But hopefully I'll have a guest speaker on here with me for that, because that's a deep topic, and I think it needs to be addressed. A lot of fan behavior has gotten out of control. I don't know if you've seen all the AAU videos of fights between referees and fans. The one referee that got jumped at an AAU event this summer. So that's why I don't referee. I referee basketball as well. I don't referee the AAU basketball. I can't. There's usually little to no security in these big ass gyms with all these people, and I just can't do it. I gotta have that sense of security. That's why I only do school sponsored activities. Basketball especially. I'll do football. That don't bother me. Football, I've got a fence between me and them, and it's okay. Basketball, they're usually right there on the court. They can come out on the court in a heartbeat. It's a little bit, it's a little bit harder for them to get on the field. So that's why I stick to doing school sponsored events in basketball. But yeah, that's something. Like I said, hopefully I'll have a guest speaker if he'll ever answer my phone call. Did you ever call somebody like 5 times during the week and be like, hey, give me a call? And you don't hear from them. And you're like, hey, give me a call. And you don't hear from them. So, but this week I'm doing something different. Listen, mailbag question. Mailbag. And when I say mailbag, that means, I'm going to ask this question. And I want you to email me your response. I'm also going to put this on the Facebook page, and I want you, if you follow me on Facebook, I'm going to have you put your response there. Best responses will be read aloud on the podcast next Sunday. So make them good. And I do mean this. This is the mailbag question. This is the mailbag question for next week. How important is communication in maintaining a healthy relationship? Now, I'm not talking about friendships. I'm talking about relationships. Husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend. How important is maintaining communication? In other words, what happens when communication in a relationship breaks down? Where are we going? You see what I'm saying? And, I'm not saying that communication has to be top notch at all times, but I'm saying when it totally breaks down, when you stop talking to one another and you stop, your verbal communication becomes a series of groans and grunts and sighs, or every time you see them, then your communication is broke down. But when you get to that, how important is it not to get to that point? That's what I really want to know. You can send it in. I won't read your name. I won't call your name on the air unless you want me to. So if you want to remain anonymous, please put that in your answer. But if you comment on the Facebook page, it's there for everyone to see. I'm not going to block everybody from seeing your answer. But, if you don't want to put your answer on the Facebook page, you can email me at bigpeasinapodcast@gmail.com. Or there's an inbox on Facebook for Big Peas in a Podcast. You can do it there. But like I said, how important is communication to maintaining a relationship? And I can tell you it's very important. That's always going to be, it's really important. That's my answer. I have to work on that sometimes. I really do, because sometimes I don't communicate right, and I don't communicate well. Sometimes I don't communicate at all. And I can say that about myself. I will say that. I'm a man. Sometimes as men, we forget how important it is to talk to our wives or our girlfriends. We forget that, and it's bad. Sometimes it gets bad. When you come in the house, or you call and you getting one word answers, there's a problem. That's what I mean. That's what I'm talking about. You can't let the communication break down. Okay. Well, looky here. I've gone 30 minutes already, and I ain't even done. But hey, I talked to a friend of mine the other day, and he said, "Don't worry about time limits. Don't constrict yourself to a time limit." And I won't, because I got some more stuff to throw out here real quick. Listen, I'm gonna repeat this. Go to buzzsprout.com, or my bad, Big P's in a podcast at buzzsprout.com. Big P's in a podcast.buzzsprout.com. That's the website where the podcast is. Now, from there, you can launch. You can either launch the podcast from there, which you can do, or you can click on this button that says more, and it says listen to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Overcast, Stitcher, Castro, Podfriend, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Castbox. That's what it says. You can click on any of those and listen to the podcast. Now listen, like I said, if there is a place to rate these podcasts, rate the podcast, please do. Go on that website, rate it 5 stars. I don't care if you give me 4. If you give me 5, I'll love you forever. I'll come sing at your wedding, and Peas can sing. I swear I can. I'll come sing at your wedding. Subscribe, that way you get notified when the new one drops. And like I said, as far as for the foreseeable future, that's going to be every midnight, every Monday morning at midnight. Midnight, that's 12 o'clock Sunday night. For those of us that, we're old school. We don't say Monday morning. We say Sunday night. For those third shift workers. Like if you work third shift, this podcast is for you. This will give you something to listen to at work. Shout out to my main man, Garrett at Flint Group. You know who you are, my old work partner, back when I used to work the graveyard shift. Shout out to Matt Convery over there at Flint Group also, probably listening to this. Shout out to anybody working third shift anywhere. Third shift is the real first shift, because that's where the day's numbers start. If you didn't know, a lot of people say, oh no, it's all about first shift. No, third shift is the real first shift. Simple and plain. Don't argue with me. I said what I said. Like I said, this video will be on YouTube, Big P's in the Podcast on YouTube. I will load this video in the morning, because I'm not going to load it now, because guess what? If I load it now, you'll see it before the video, before the audio comes out, and guess what happens? You're going to start watching the video. You're going to start watching the videos and not listen to the podcast, and you're going to mess up my ratings, and I'm going to have to beat you. So, like I said, subscribe. Go on YouTube and subscribe, so you'll be notified. Go on YouTube and subscribe. Hit that little subscribe button somewhere down there. You hit that subscribe button, and you'll be notified every time I put a video on YouTube. On YouTube, there will be more than just the podcast episodes. There's going to be some other stuff. Some of my other stuff that I do will go on there. Like, remember when I used to sit down and make videos and put them on Facebook? I'll probably start doing that on YouTube now. Like I said, trying to expand my horizons here. A lot of it because Facebook is very strict on what they allow as far as language. And it's like I said, y'all, I cuss. I do. I really do. If you know me, you know this. I'm a Marine, and profanity is like my second language. So, well, why do you talk like that? Intelligent people don't talk like that, Carl. Well, let me tell you something. I'm highly intelligent, and I talk like that. Now, I can talk to anybody, any kind of way. If I'm carrying on a conversation with a dignitary or, a local politician or, hey, how you doing? How you doing? Yes, my name's Carl. Yeah, nice to meet you. When I see one of my fellows out there, what's up, my bro? What's going on? I can talk any kind of way you want to. I'm all about it. And that's just how I am. And like I said, I curse. So, I can't put a lot of stuff on Facebook because, Facebook be putting people in jail too much nowadays. I got friends that's on 30-day bids right now just for saying they would punch somebody in the throat. Not somebody in particular, just saying I'll punch somebody in the throat. And they in Facebook jail right now. Because Facebook be on that bull, you know what I'm saying? Mark Zuckerberg, I don't know what you're doing, but you need to quit. I guess that's my time. Enjoyed it. Like I said, truly appreciate it. Glad everybody liked it last week. I hope you like this one as well. Do what I told you to do. Go on and like all that good stuff. Like the Facebook page, Big P's in the Podcast on Facebook. Like the Facebook page. That's where the merchandise is going to go when I get it. The merchandise will also go up some other places. I'm telling you, this is going to be big. I feel it. Y'all got to get behind me, though. I need you first. I need you guys first. My base listening core, you know who you are, Annie Brewster and all those people, my friends and, my family. I need y'all first. Y'all got to be the main ones. Share it on your Facebook page. Go on your Facebook page. Go, you can share the podcast you listen to from wherever you listen to it on the Facebook. Share it to your Facebook page. Let people know. You see somebody, hey, you like to listen to podcasts? Hey, my boy Pease got one, and he be bringing it the real. And that's what I do. Like I said, this is informative and uplifting. That's what we're gonna do right here. Big P's in the Podcast. We'll see you next week. Do the mailbag question at Big P's in the Podcast at gmail.com. Love y'all. Good night.